For mobile learning, I decided to go with recycling. Here is an example of our VC last week and some of the themes that the cohort mentioned. So I decided to incorporate recycling with mobile learning and then combine a previous lesson which was three-dimensional shapes. So for this project, students will apply what they have learned and create a class book on Wixie identifying recyclable shapes around the school and also at home. Then finally, they will use these objects which they have collected and they will make a spooky shaped haunted house since it is almost Halloween here in Asia. So I started the project with a short questionnaire asking the students questions such as, does your mother or father have a mobile phone at home? Have you ever taken pictures with a mobile phone? Are you allowed to use it? And all of the students showed that they have access to mobile phones at home. 8 of the students have taken pictures with these phones, and the other 2 maybe just used it to watch videos and play educational games. So this allowed me to go ahead with the project. I just want to mention that the age of my students is around 4 to 5 years old. So using mobile phones in the school is not an option. So what I decided to do for this project is to use iPads in the school. Our kids have access to iPads, and then the other part of the project they will do at home using their parents' mobile phones. So if I had to introduce the project to the students, I will show them something like this, maybe projected onto the projector in the classroom. And then I will introduce it by telling them we are going to make a spooky shaped haunted house, what they will do, what they will create, why we are doing it, and then I will tell them the goal of the project, which is to inspire them to create and develop better ways of eliminating waste, reduce, reuse, and recycle, recognizing shapes and numbers in their environment, and then students will learn that technology can serve as a tool to assess their learning. So the first step, I will explain to the students that they will use an online app called Wixie. The second step is that they will create a class book on Wixie identifying the shapes of the recyclable objects they have found at school and at home. They will use the Audio Lab's iPads at school and also their parents' mobile phones at home to take pictures of these recyclable objects around them. Then I will show them some examples of recyclable objects that they can find at home or maybe outside on the school's campus. And then they will upload the pictures on Wixie and create the class books with their friends in school and also at home with their parents. Finally, after they have created these books, they can be shared with teachers, with their friends, and also on the school's website. And then at the end, we will use these objects which they have collected at school and at home to create a spooky, scary, shape haunted house. Here are some examples of students taking some pictures of recyclable objects at school with the iPads. And here is an example of what these class books look like on Wixie. They can also input their voice in these books, explaining the shapes, talking about these shapes. So when they do look at the book or read the book online, they can also hear each other's voices. And then here is an example of the students getting together at the end, planning, collaborating, working together on how they are going to build this spooky shaped haunted house of theirs. Here is where they have put everything together. And then they painted black because it is a spooky, scary house, and then they decorate it to make it look scary. And then finally at the end, we have a Halloween party at the end of October where we invite the parents. The students get to dress up and play with games with their parents and their classmates. This is a fun way for the parents to see our project displayed, and then the students will be able to point out some recyclable objects and name the shapes of the objects. So the summary and the findings after consulting with the cohort members and students is that all of our cohort members teach different levels, which means that we will incorporate the use of mobile devices in different manners and ways. And then the use of mobile apps would also be different because It will all depend on the rules of the school. This will have an influence on the apps that we would use. So for example, Samara and I, we are not allowed to have contact with the parents. So this, as I said, will have an influence on the kind of app that we choose. The students really enjoy going outside, taking the pictures, sharing the pictures what they took at home with their friends on Wixie, and then building and constructing the spooky, scary shaped house. They really had fun doing this project. The final part is the references and the credits for the resources is obviously Wixie.com and then the creativeeducator.com, which I get my ideas for my lesson plans. And that's it for my mobile device project. Bye bye.